Hey everyone, Beyond TCG here, and welcome to another episode of the Pokemon Horizon Rising set review. This episode, we're going to be covering the Water and Lightning Pokemon, so get excited for some brand new exciting cards. And before I hop into the details, I just want to give a special thank you to everyone. This is me just starting the channel, and I can already see some subscribers, some comments, some likes, and even just viewing these episodes, it blows me away the support that I've seen already. So really excited for the future, and just thank you all again. Can't do it without you. All right, so just covering what we're going to see today, it's going to differ based off of the different types. So for water, there's going to be three non-evolving basics, so that we'll see two for lightning. Water, again, is slightly different, and as you see the full set, it'll make sense. They're going to have three basics that evolve into a stage one, and their stage one respectively. And lightning is going to have four basics that evolve into their stage one. And then both for water and lightning, we're going to see two basics that evolve into a stage one, and then there's stage one that evolves into an extremely powerful stage two. And just a quick disclaimer again, the artwork that you see is just made to make the cards look more alive. They're made by many awesome artists over the internet that I got off Google, so not taking credit for any of those. All right, all that out of the way, let's hop back into what do these types do. So starting off with water, you're going to see they're very good at healing themselves. So plenty of cards that are going to do some sort of healing. Also many effects that care about water energy specifically. So you'll see a card that I'll give a spoiler allows you to accelerate water energy later. And also naturally the water cards cover ice Pokemon. And a bunch of them are going to use paralysis, which is really acting like a freeze style effect among their effects as an ice type would. Anyway, yeah, let's just hop right into the exciting cards, of course. All right, starting off with our non-evolving basics. First, we have Lapras here with the Safe Ride Home ability. Lapras, if you played a supporter card this turn, has no retreat cost. And then for Water Colorless, deals 70 damage. So just a really nice utility card. Very good for draft if you end up playing that, but just generally good that you can put it out there and easily retreat since you should pretty much always be playing a supporter every turn. Next up is Delibird with 100 HP. First, for just a single water energy, it's got Snowy present. Draw cards equal to the number of energy attached to this Pokemon. There's another Delibird from sometime during the Diamond Pearl Platinum era that kind of has a similar attack, so just a good card draw advantage. And then Surprise present. For a water colorless, flip a coin. If heads, you may search your deck for a card and put it into your hand. If you do, shuffle your deck. If tails, you may return a card in your discard pile to your hand. So again, kind of representing Delabird's present attack that's kind of random, as well as a coin flip here. However, both options are pretty good. You're either getting whatever card that you're looking for from your deck, or you're bringing a card back. So just a good mid-range card. And then Love Disc here, even though it has a low HP of only 30 and a weak attack of Water Gun for only 20 for water, healing scales, your active Pokemon gets plus 30 HP is definitely going to be huge in a whole bunch of games because this can just sit on the bench and power up your Pokemon, and you can stack it. So if you have 5 Love Disc on the bench, I think that's like plus 150 HP. So that's going to be really, really great utility card. All right, let's start off with the classic Magikarp here for our evolutions. Another one with only 30 HP and a weak attack, but if you knock out Magikarp early, its Catch of the Day ability allows you to draw 2 cards. So just very nice for keeping yourself in the game. And then Gyarados here not only has a huge 140 HP for stage 1, for a single energy as the Legend Awakened attack, does 150 damage, but you have to have evolved this turn. And then Water, Colorless deals 200 damage. So this is an example here. You've probably seen many Pokemon in the Pokemon TCG where if you evolve them exactly that turn, you get to do a large amount of damage, but it's always really, really weak. I think 150 for just water is the kind of reward you want for evolving into that. So yeah, that's Gyarados Magikarp. Up next, we got Marill here with 60 HP. First, it has for a water energy, return a Pokemon in your discard pile to your hand. So a really nice utility card. And then roll out here, colorless. This attack does 20 damage plus the amount of damage this attack did during your last turn. So the whole point of this attack is you've probably seen many other attacks that they say, oh, if you did this attack last turn, it does a little bit more. Well, this one actively stacks every single turn, just like rollout normally does. So it becomes 20, 40, 60, 80, etc., until Marill stops using rollout. So nice utility mon there. And then it can evolve into Azumarill, which if you watched the set overview, this card should be familiar. 130 HP. It's got the healing liquid ability. So when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve it during your turn, heal all damage from this Pokemon. It's a nice way in case Marill gets injured. And then Watercolorless Rejuvenated Slam, heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. Then this attack does 20 damage times the number of damage counters you remove from this Pokemon from healing. So Azumarill, very good at keeping itself alive and gets rewarded for playing a healing deck. So lots of cool strategies you could probably come up with there. Next up, we have Bergmite with 80 HP. Bergmite has the Ice Body ability. At the beginning of your turn, if you have a Stadium in play, heal all damage from this Pokemon, and then Watercolorless for 40 damage, Ice Shard. So again, another healing card. This one takes advantage of having Stadiums, which is like kind of a small sub-theme between water and fire sometimes, so something of note for your deck building. And it can evolve into Avalugg here with 150 HP, and then first, Colorless Frost Barrier, 80 damage, and then it takes 50 less damage from attacks next turn. And then Glacial Wall, prevent all effects of damage dealt to Avalugg by attacks that would deal 150 or more points of damage. Now, if you've played competitive Pokemon these days, you know that everyone's trying to do way more than 150. They're trying to do 200 damage. So Avalugg is a great anti-meta card. And then even for the Pokemon that can attack it, once you start hitting with that Frost Barrier, it's just going to be really hard to whittle him down, and just a great defensive card. All right, let's look into our stage twos. First, we have Horsey here. Horsey has 60 HP, and this is that ability I spoiled earlier. Blessed Drop. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench, you may attach a water energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. You cannot use the Blessed Drop ability more than once per turn. So even decks that aren't running the whole Kingdra line are probably going to be playing Horsey because you just get the cheat water energy from your hand onto your Pokemon, and that's just great overall. It evolves into Seadra here with 120 HP for water. Sweeping Stream does 50 damage, and you shuffle a benched Pokemon you control and all its attached cards back into its owner's deck. So this is a great way if you've been slamming your whole deck to get them back in, or if you retreated a heavily injured Pokemon to your bench, you can bring it back. So get a nice utility card. And finally, Kingdra here, which synergizes quite well with the Horsey. 200 HP, Scatter Water Gun. This attack does 20 damage times the number of water energy attached to a number of your opponent's Pokemon that is less than or equal to a number of water energy attached to this Pokemon. So a little bit wordy, but overall what Kingdra does is the more water energy you get on it, not only does it do more damage, but it spreads that damage among your opponent's Pokemon. So let's say you get 6 water energy on Kingdra, you're dealing 120 damage to every single Pokemon they have in play. Absolutely awesome spread card, and 2 attacks in, you've probably won the game. And for our next evolution, I'm very excited for this one because I know how controversial the ice cream is. We start off with Vanillite here. 50 HP, has the Icy Wall ability, prevent all damage dealt to your benched Pokemon from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. We've seen this effect many times before. I know Manaphy really recently from Brilliant Stars, I believe. It's a good effect. Vanillite's going to be in a bunch of your decks, even without the evolutions. It evolves into Vanilla Shear, 120 HP. For single water energy, has the Freezing Breath attack that deals 80 damage. The opposing Pokemon is now paralyzed. You can only use this attack if Vanillish was dealt damage during your opponent's turn. So kind of a fair revenge paralysis that allows you to gain an extra turn as you want. And then really unique here, Vanillux with 210 HP has the Layered Scoops ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may move each evolution underneath this Pokemon onto your bench. And then Frost Barrier, Water Colorless, 110. If your opponent's active Pokemon has no damage counters on it, that Pokemon is now paralyzed. So many things going on with this card here. First off, when you evolve into it, the Vanillite and the Vanillish go back to your bench. So in case that Vanillux is automatically knocked out super fast, you already have the Vanillish ready to go and create another Vanillux just to keep the game going. And then that attack, the damage is pretty good, but the fact that as soon as it hits a Pokemon that has no damage counters, they're paralyzed, is just a great way to easily steal some 2-hit knockouts. All right, now let's go into the lightning Pokemon. So just a refresher, they get bonuses for switching in and out of the bench. You'll see plenty of that. They get bonuses for attaching energy to them, so a bunch of them will do extra damage or extra attacks. And they also have a little bit of spread damage. You've probably seen that from normal Pokemon TCG, and that kind of continues over into the lightning cards in Horizon Rising. All right, starting off here, we have Emolga. We've seen this one in our previews before with 80 HP. For single lightning energy, it deals 30 damage plus 50 more damage if you attach the energy from your hand to this Pokemon this turn. So classic example of that bonus. And then Tapu Koko here, 90 HP, lightning colorless deals 70 damage with Thunderbolt, but it also has the Guardian's Wrath ability. Whenever this Pokemon becomes your active Pokemon from the bench, so even if you use Switch or, Escape Rope, put 3 damage counters on an opponent's Pokemon. Just a great utility card. Every time your Pokemon's knocked out, it can come in and put damage counters. Really, really great. Next up, for our first of the Stage 1 evolutions, we start with Voltorb here. 70 HP. For single lightning energy, it deals 100 damage, but then it's knocked out. I mean, it's classic Voltorb. I don't know what else to say here. Sometimes it's going to be great, though, to kind of have it around and knock out some pesky Pokemon with the extra 100 damage. Then Electrode here, 130 HP. This is another coin flipper where, I tried to keep coin flips to a minimum, but I think this is a cool effect. Lightning, flip a coin. If heads, deal 90 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, but if tails, deal 90 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So it's kind of random who you're going to be dealing the damage to, but overall, you're going to be kind of happy wherever you're going to be dealing 90 damage for only lightning energy. All right, up next we have Chinchou here with 70 HP. First for Lightning as Alluring Glow, search your deck for 2 Pokemon cards, reveal them and add them to your hand, shuffle your deck, good utility attack. And then Lightning Colorless Double Bolt, 20 damage. This attack does 10 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. If you've ever played the starter deck format on the Pokemon trading card game online, there's like a Dragonite deck with a Chinchou there. Long story short, I've attacked with that one, and Double Bolt is kind of a buff to that attack because it bothered me how weak it was. So again, just a nice utility mon. The Lantern here, again, if you saw the first preview episode, you'll recognize this card. 140 HP, electric colorless, the electrified water attack. Reveal any number of water Pokemon from your hand. This attack does 40 damage times the number of water Pokemon you revealed this way. Then shuffle those revealed cards back into your deck. So you'll probably recognize this card as kind of a shout out to the Malamar Rapid Strike again. And you've already seen the water cards that you can play in your deck now. So you can already kind of plan your Chinchou Lantern deck here. But just very easy to rack up a bunch of damage and build a water lightning deck. Next up, we have Blitzel here with 80 HP. For just a single lightning energy, this attack does 10 damage to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So really, really easy spread damage right from the get-go there. It evolves into Zeb Strikeout with 120 HP. For single lightning energy, it has the charge up attack, 30 damage. You may attach up to 2 basic energy from your hand to one of your benched Pokemon. So keep that in mind as we follow up into Switch Strike here. Lightning colorless. Switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. If that Pokemon can pay for one of its attacks, you may use that attack. So just a really cool ability. You take your benched Pokemon that's probably full of energy that you've been waiting for, and then automatically attack with it afterwards. And of course, it synergizes with that first attack that allows you to load up that Pokemon even faster. So probably some really cool switching decks you can think of with this one. Let's say you load up your Tapu Koko, you can put 3 damage counters and do an extra 70 after that. Just awesome strategies. Next up, we have Yamper here with 60 HP. First, it has the ability that your active Pokemon can use this Pokemon's attacks, so that's something to keep in mind even while it's on the bench. And that attack is Charge. You may attach up to 2 energy from your hand to your active Pokemon for lightning energy. So if you need another Pokemon that you're trying to accelerate energy onto, you can just place the Yamper on your deck and you have access to that utility attack. And then Boltund here with 110 HP has a very utility mon kind of aspect. Lightning Colorless Thunderfangs deals 40 damage. Your opponent discards cards until they only have 4 cards in hand. And then Lightning Colorless, Yellow Explosion, 90 damage. Draw cards until you have 6 cards in hand. So we can see here Boltund can either decrease the cards your opponent has or give you more cards. All right, starting off with our stage 2s. First, we have Magnemite here. If one of your opponent's Pokemon has a lightning energy attached, this Pokemon has no retreat cost. So again, another very easy card to switch in and out. And then Lightning Colorless Tri-Strike. This attack does 10 damage to up to 3 of your opponent's Pokemon. So again, another really simple spread attack, easy retreater, good for getting that evolution quickly. The evolution being Magneton here with 130 HP. As the Thunder Wave ability for Lightning, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. You cannot use this attack during your next turn. And then Lightning Colorless Magnet Crush deals 110 damage. Most importantly, Magneton comes in and paralyzes so it can stay alive as long as possible. That way we can finally get to Magnezone here with 210 HP. This ability should be familiar if anyone knows Magnezone from the sometime during the Plasma Strike era during the Black and White. During your turn, you may play 2 supporter cards, and then Lightning, Signal Support, 100 damage, search your deck for a trainer card, reveal it, and add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. So playing 2 supporters per turn is already a really crazy ability. Again, this Pokemon, as we can see, specializes in getting itself out as soon as possible. And if you attack with it, you get to find that second supporter. So you're going to easily be able to abuse this ability, and you can look forward to that. And finally, to round up the episode, we got a really, really cool strategy here, and one for anyone who's played during the Ruby and Sapphire era may actually recognize these counters. Shinx here, 50 HP. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to your bench, you may put a Shockwave counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon and deals 20 damage with Spark. Okay, Shockwave counter, I guess we'll see what that is. Luxio here is 120 HP. For Lightning Colorless, Static Claw deals 60 damage. Put a Shockwave counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Okay, we've seen Shockwave counters twice now. Let's find out what the heck is going on. Luxray here, 190 HP. Electrify, put a Shockwave counter on an opponent's Pokemon. Okay, let's see what this final attack is. What's the deal with all this? Lightning, final Lightning, knock out a Pokemon with a Shockwave counter on it. And there's your reward right there. So basically, you can build your whole Luxray deck here. Shinx comes in, puts the Shockwave counters you want. If you happen to be attacking with Luxio, you can start putting them. And then finally, you get Luxray in, and you just start taking prize cards left and right for anything in play with Shockwave counters. Doesn't matter how big it is. I don't care if it is a 300 HP VMAX Pokemon. Luxray automatically knocks it out. All right, that's going to be all of our Water and Lightning cards today. I hope you saw some awesome cards today. Definitely let me know in the comments what cards you're most excited for. Stay tuned. Next episode is going to be covering the Psychic and Fighting types of Horizon Risings. I've been Beyond TCG, and I'll see you then.